All right. And I have recently rewatched things, so do a I can do a bit of a recap. Would anybody else like to, though? Has somebody else uh,
I could
reviewed?
do up to what I was able to rewatch. The app that I use to watch YouTube videos so that I don't have to deal with ads was having a hard time buffering. So I
Uh,
didn't actually get as far as I would have liked. But we had just finished talking with Estelle about what we were looking for as far as the phylacteries, for lack of a better term, for Koshé the Deathless. Um, and we sort of set up around him in a ritual space. And we had Paul set up as our guardian, um, with somebody else that we've sort of been briefly introduced to as Ren, um, as a second set of eyes, a second guardian. Um, we began the ritual and we followed the threads with a steel to the first phylactery, which which we found in the mobile house of Baba Yaga, effectively, or as we came to know them by later, uh, the Mother Witch. It was sort of hidden with a bunch of other treasures in a chest, and she was one of the people that noticed our passing, although she didn't seem particularly perturbed, just sort of interested. Then we followed another thread well, through the under and into the hells, where there was a giant lava monster thing with a couple of shades and some other creatures. And the phylactery was hidden somewhere in its chest. And my daughter is coming out of the room. Um, from there, several of the creatures that were around this demon in the hells were able to follow the threads and were quickly, very quickly, in fact, dealt with by Paul. And we were able to stop some of them from sort of following the thread back. Um, we then went back up the thread, and that was where I actually lost. I wasn't able to watch anymore. I do remember that we saw one in the horde of a dragon that we found out later was a god, the god of justice. And I don't remember. I think there was one more after that,
oh,
up
there were a
in
few
the
more.
Purple Mountains.
Yep, Purple
Oh, there was
Mountains.
one in a desert.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get a rewatch, and I missed part of that. Also, I think because of my daughter last time. So,
Yeah, it was either her or Alex. Um,
yeah, or
but yeah,
both.
you discovered that um, Firiati, the dragon, had a helm in his hoard. There was one in the library, in their vaults, an old sword. There was one in a well in a space that you've not seen before. Uh, I believe Estelle referred to it as the Erdi Islands. Um, there was one being guarded by a sphinx, it's a breastplate, in an underground tomb outside of Milidani. That was your desert one, and then the Black Mountains. Yeah, um, there was a sphere surrounded by Myconid colony um, that was there. Paul was able to, with Ren's assistance, uh, help kill anything that came through the weave's belly button, as it were. Um, and Paul finally has realized he has had a magic weapon for months. Uh, or at least weeks. We'll say weeks. Um, so yeah, he finally figured out that he has the Renethri sword. Not that he knows that it's Renethri make, probably. Arboretum. Uh, so yeah, he now has a magical weapon. That's all fine and dandy. Uh, Esteel, at some point, he will tell you that he's got access to other people that might be of use in this project. Um, there is a scientist that he is going to call on to see if he will come and meet with you guys to maybe help equip you um, so that these phylacteries will not be uh, found in the weave when you pull them out, so that Koshade might not get a direct connection to you guys. Um, so he's going to check on that. He also has a connection to other adventurers, and intends on bringing that up with you guys tonight to see who you would like to, or if you would like to meet with them. Um, let's see. Eden goes forth and pretends to be a blacksmith for a while. Initially, quite effectively. Eventually, people started questioning why his hammer was going through some of the pieces that he was shaping, as he continued to dump bardic inspiration into Teffin. Uh, he was able to help Teffin finish uh, his Mighty Mouse Megazord, uh, for lack of a better word.
Yep.
Um, and Scylla came with him, much to his chagrin, given that now he is aware that he might be having a negative impact on her health or mind, and or, uh, but he, after having some awkward conversation, pulls her aside and tells her, well, I guess that happens off screen, but effectively breaks it off with Scylla, um, which none of the rest of you would know yet. Beyond that, Hefin has Hefin has gone to like put the last finishing touches on before dinner and put everything together to be presented to the Council of Nembi
Mm-hmm.
this evening at the banquet. Estiel pulled uh, Eric aside and effectively arranged for him to go to dinner with at the residence of Ren and Tanaise, because finally people started realizing that they looked mighty similar. Um, so that happened. Trying to think if there's anything else that I missed. I think that was the majority of it.
I think so.
Yeah, I think
All
that's the big
right.
stuff.
So, Eden,
Mhm.
post this unfortunate conversation with Scylla, um, you had said before that he would probably remain there. Is that true, given the banquet situation as well, or would he pull himself out for that and then go back?
I think he's currently wallowing in self pity. So I think he's uh,
Very, very focused, and the people that would be most likely to notice that there is something wrong and that he is missing are also missing. Uh,
he would actually after enough time he would probably put up his what is that called? The dome. Where's my phone? The magical dome. Anybody? Anybody?
I don't remember what it's called. I'm so sorry. Oh, Liamid's tiny hut. Is that it?
Yeah. He'll set
Yeah,
that
good
up,
job.
and usually he has it set up so that like the party can come in. But um, if he's left alone for like an hour or so, he'll come to enough to realize he wants to be alone without really like saying anything to anybody. He'll go ahead and set up his little room, like his space, so that nobody else can come in.
How big is that?
20 by 20. think, or no,
So
I think it's a
effectively,
circle. Uh, where is it? Raymond. Oh, sorry, 10 foot. 10 foot radius. So, yeah, 20, essentially a 20 by 20 square.
So are you like in the room that we've been staying at in the castle, and you just have your hut in the room?
Probably, but you
he
guys are
didn't
all at
think
dinner,
that
so it's fine.
he didn't think that through very well. Uh,
Mm-mm. He's not really
so
thinking very clearly anyway, though,
yeah,
so.
yeah. Poor Eden. So yes, effectively now nobody is gonna be able to get into this room. Um, thankfully there are other rooms. But we'll see how that goes as things transpire. Um, so I won't necessarily give what you guys got up to away, but Thea, you offered to accompany Eric to dinner to be moral support when you found out kind of what this was about, and
Aw.
did so. Uh, and on the way back, you guys decided that you wanted to explore the caves a little bit more,
Oh.
and so now you find yourself at Chug's Shoots.
Yay!
I gave a list of things that he was pointing out to her on the map, and she picked that, and I was like, "Yay!" So we're not going to spend an awful long time here, seeing as you and Eric are the only ones here. But I want to see how this goes. You become aware, for everybody else who has not been introduced to Shoots yet, uh, you are drawn to this place that has a lot of patio lighting outside. It's wrapped around by this big wooden deck and a viewing platform. There are cheers happening. It's a great place to be. Everybody's having a really, really good time there. Walking up, you realize while you're looking over this viewing platform that this is a strange sport that looks like a combination of like the the idea of bowling mixed with pinball and a bit of ultimate frisbee athleticism between the different stations that you can negotiate. So people are throwing these big balls, rolling these balls into chutes, uh, as the name would suggest, um, that are segmented in ways that as you go down this course, you can run below the course and adjust these massive, sometimes not so massive, um, pieces of equipment that either alter the course of the ball, present something like one of the bumpers from pinball that ejects it off and to a different direction. Um, and the whole point is to get your team's ball to the end of this like kind of racetrack-ish thing first. Um, So some of the stations can be used kind of offensively and some defensively. You can mess with the other person's track or try to make yours faster. And you guys decide that you're going to put in for this. So the Galabdur uh, owner of this facility, Chug, as one would suspect from the name of the place, uh, enthusiastically helps outfit you with balls and the right gear, all of that, and gets you on the Triangle team by your request. Team Triangle is what you put in your name for. And Eric joins you on Team Triangle and puts you into a team of three other people. There is a very quick-looking, sprightly gnome, a larger fellow who still looks very strong and seems to have like his eyes directed towards different like stations that you could tell it takes a lot of muscle to move. And then a kind of mid-build human that's quite excited to get playing as well. Um, it's round robin night. It's open to the public, so people of all skill levels join in. You rolled to start and got yourself an advantage for the first part of the game. So I'm gonna have you do three different rolls. We're gonna do the beginning, the middle, and the end.
As
So I am gonna roll against you. You are rolling for Team Triangle. Roll in acrobatics or athletics. Anything for that? Oh,
so we'll do acrobatics, and I'm doing guidance. Ooh, that's not great. 15.
well, it's better than theirs. So it's an excellent start. You're able to really get the ball rolling, so to speak. Um, Diving underneath, you're able to kind of see the direction that you are headed as an elven girl like runs towards this kind of a spring-loaded um, station that will catapult the ball the wrong direction. As you head towards this, you're able to get a hold of it first and push more the direction that you're actually hoping for. Um, as other teammates of theirs scramble to try to put their space together a little bit better in line with the finish. Um, One of the teammates for Team Triangle ends up diverting theirs after a narrow collision and is able to pull ahead for your team. Um, there are a few other obstacles that are covered in that space. Go ahead and roll for the middle space. There's a lot that can go on in the middle. Oh my gosh. I can never roll for crap when I'm DMing. My player rolls are so good. My DMing rolls are so bad.
13.
It's better than mine. It looks for a second like they might pull ahead. Um, they get to like this middle space where it's kind of an open well that just has these kind of different pegs sticking up that are controlled from below. Uh, you're able to control yours. They are able to get to theirs in time, but the person that's controlling the direction of the movement ends up overcorrecting and shooting past yours, where yours goes into one of the openings for the track below. Um, and let's go for the end. Any of you, please just work for me. That's more like it.
26.
Oh, oh, well, it still was not high enough. Uh, no, 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 yours was. Mine
Oh,
was
okay.
not. Like they rolled an 18, which is great. They don't have the capacity for a 26. So,
Okay.
yeah, that
That's
is
just the highest
excellent.
I've ever rolled anything.
Like you follow the ball. You're doing great as an individual player, but your team is really coming together very well. And this other team, you can tell that their players, their strongest players and their most experienced players are kind of strategically placed at the end. And they start making up some ground. One of them turns a wheel and is able to completely divert theirs to a different track altogether, just as one of your teammates tries to ricochet off of their ball to deflect it off into a different space. You guys are able to recover that failed deflection very quickly and divert it back onto one of the faster tracks, which was a narrow. It was a close thing because it had to swing wide to get there, but you managed to do that. Um, the other team, they have some very athletic people that are pushing really hard. You guys just come in a hair before they do, or we'll say like a ball length before they do. So they worked really hard to try and make up that ground, and they just weren't able to make it. You can hear as all of the people above on the viewing platform just lose their minds that this team with a couple of complete noobs has come in, and while the other team only has a handful of experienced players, like it's impressive to see a couple of people that have never played before have such an awesome win. Um, it ends up being a really, really good time. Team
Oh, there we go.
Triangle.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Everybody high fives in a little triangle shape. Of course, most of the rest of the team doesn't know why, so you and Eric just like share a little giggle over that. Uh, after a couple of games of shoots, he offers you his arm again. Like, my lady, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
So, what are the chances that we should not tell Paul that this place exists? Is it a good thing or a bad thing to tell him?
Um, I guess let's see what state we find him in.
That's that's reasonable. Ah, so do you think he's ever going to forgive you for the the sly-handedness that you've employed against him before?
Yeah, that wasn't my finest hour, but I had good intentions. I don't know. Maybe if I save his neck a time or two, or he'll forget about it.
I suppose the fact that he is so willing to keep your company, even though he complains about it a lot, is probably still a mark in your favor.
Mm.
He'll walk with you back. He'll consult the map that Estelle gave him and walk you back, kind of keeping casual company and chatting back and forth. Is there anything specific that you want to discuss on the way?
No, I don't think so. I think we talked about the dinner and everything through the texting, so he just wants to keep it lighthearted, have in the evening on a good note.
All
Because
right.
Eric's probably having an identity crisis.
It's been an interesting evening for him.
Yeah.
That is for sure. So, back at the ranch, Teffin.
Yes.
Uh, you are doing finishing touches, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, the big
Yourself.
thing is I'm arranging the suits into this little case that um, where I can basically just lift up the lid and present them as standing up at attention. Um, you know, for anyone that's not NIMBY sized, it would be a traveling case. For the NIMBYs, it would be the size of a wagon. So I've made sure to include rollers on the bottom of it so that they can transport it wherever they need to. But yeah, so I've got that working on the case mainly because the mechs themselves are done. It's just finishing up the case and then setting each of the suits into it, and final little polishing, make sure everything is like gleaming, um, and the best presentation I can possibly make, and then clean. Once that's done, going and cleaning myself up for the dinner.
All right. Um, Go ahead and roll me something crafty.
Something crafty, something crafty. Well, this is probably. Oh, it's not really tinkering, I
Maybe
guess.
smithing since you're doing the case.
Yeah, smithing. I'll do that.
That would make sense. I would accept either, I think.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at all of my crafting like skills, and I've got glass blowing, leatherworking, smithing, tinkering, thieves' tools. What I do not have is woodworking.
Hmm.
All right, and it's going to be a 21.
Oh yeah, it comes together beautifully. You're happy with the work. Like you could do some extra things to it with more time, but for the time that you have,
Yep,
this is probably as good as it gets.
yep.
It's a very, very nice piece. You do well.
All right. So then I'll just take it with me and go, like I said, go get cleaned up for dinner.
All right. Um, so you guys are able to uh, get set and all of that. Uh, Now, Thea, would you have? I'll kind of let you decide this. Um, would you have tried to get back before the end of the banquet just to be able to like keep the company the NEMBY for a little while? Um, I imagine they were probably they were probably catching up for a good bit. So, um,
Sure.
I'm gonna kind of leave that to you.
Yeah, I guess we should probably head back because I mean I think the banquet is also kind of for us too, so it's probably rude if we're not all there.
So, all right, you guys, you might be a little bit late, but you'll get there in time then. Um, do you stop long enough to get cleaned up?
Did we get dirty in
I
this
mean, it's
game?
like a dirt track that's
Okay.
like all of the stuff underneath there. It's some pretty decent sport happening there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll try to go get cleaned up. I don't have like what's that cantrip? Um,
Yeah,
Prestidigitation.
prestidigitation.
prestidigitation. Yeah.
You would know that there is a very nice like bath space, kind of a little mini bathhouse inside the castle itself. Um, that like they would have probably shown you this yesterday going through. Um, it's kind of fed by a hot spring, and they keep well stocked in there. So if you need to clean up, you can. Um, if you were sharing a room with Eden, however, I suppose uh, you will suddenly discover that you cannot open the door.
It's not locked.
It's not locked, but I can't open it.
Correct. I guess Eric would be with you for that too, because he would have shared the room with Eden as well. Um,
Well, not hello.
Can I hear through this? I don't remember.
I don't know how that goes. I don't remember how that works.
Um, Atmosphere inside the center. Dome is opaque. Um, it does not say.
What do you think your tiny hut would do?
I imagine that you could hear through it in terms of just like a security measure generally, but
What he does with that information is up to him.
probably nothing actually. He probably is if it's a regular knock, unless somebody is banging on the door, he probably doesn't notice.
Um, okay. So yeah, you try to enter the space and cannot.
I will use Eldridge Sight to cast Detect Magic. Ooh, I may have to see it. Hold on. Maybe that doesn't work through like a door.
I mean, you might be able to like peek through the doorknob
Kinda
or the
Yeah, like
keyhole.
if it cracks open like that.
just hit this solid thing.
It just says magic within 30 feet of you. You sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. So, so yeah, and I would learn what school of magic it is. So I don't. Would that give me enough information to know that he's cast the hut or the tiny hut?
So it would be what, like abjuration probably? Oh,
Experienced in
evocation.
casting? Yeah, yeah, it's an evocation spell. Um, you have seen him cast the hut before that it might make sense to you. I suppose you could roll um hmm,
Roll for memory.
maybe an insight. I could also argue history for memory. What am
Or
I doing?
8.
Yeah, it does not dawn on you. Let me see if Eric does any better. 11, so probably not. Uh, let's see. Now, how Eric would respond based on the fact um, that he knows that that was where you guys stayed last night. Let me roll that. See what we've got. Okay. He is immediately in the middle. Uh, he is not sure what he wants to do with that. He can do. Yeah, and it's opaque, so he can't. He can't like misty step into it or anything like that, can he?
Not if it
No,
needs
because I have
line
misty
of
step. It
sight.
has to. Oh, look! If the door's open a little bit, you can misty step into somewhere you can see.
But you cannot magically teleport into Raymond's tiny hut.
No, but I could teleport into the room, like around it.
I mean, it's a reasonably sized room. It might pretty well take up the entire room, though, because a 20 by 20 is a pretty hefty room. That's a large
But
space.
it fits 9 medium creatures.
That's. Yeah, I think the
Um,
entire room is just completely eclipsed with it. Um, I do think
like,
Eric would be concerned. He would double up the knock, but it would not be like a panic knock. Um, so there would be another knock upon the dome.
And if somebody bangs on it, it'll probably startle him enough. But short of
yeah.
that, I don't.
Oh, well,
How far does the door open? Like, I mean, like an inch or
I would imagine enough for there to be a kunk.
okay.
Like, yeah, probably an inch or two. Not enough for you guys to get through, but I mean, I guess actually Eric could take gaseous form and go in and see what's up.
That's
So that
handy.
might actually.
Could I squeeze Archimedes through?
As a
As a
bumblefuzz,
Bumblefuzz?
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'll squeeze
So,
Archimedes through and see through his eyes.
so you would see the recognizable shape of Eden's dome.
I feel like that took us way too
What was that? Sorry.
So I would say to Eric, let's say it's Eden's hut that he can throw up that he can put up.
I mean, right now we might want to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Should we be concerned?
I mean, maybe. And I'm gonna send Archimedes to land on it and like do his head bumps.
As a bumblefuzz, I don't know that it would actually do very much in the way of
Oh, fair
sound or
enough.
anything. It'd just be like,
And
Oh,
probably not much louder
you
than the
know what?
knocking.
We
almost
have
definitely not.
sorry, it's been a second since we played. I can speak telepathically to him. So
Oh,
We also have the message jewelry
you
that
do.
we haven't used for a while.
oh, do you? I've forgotten that you guys have message. Yeah, you do have message jewelry.
We just
That's
haven't used it for
right.
a while.
That is true.
Well, I will telepathically, so it's not on the open channel like for everybody to hear. Like, Eden, is everything okay? You can reply to this message.
Let's see. Would he even respond to that? So obviously it's not super visible, but like he'll shake his head and sort of come out of it a second, and then he'll realize he's blocked the whole room, and he'll drop the dome, but he won't answer.
Eric, who is waiting at the door, just falls through.
Oh, Eric, are you all right? Sorry, I that was inconsiderate of me. I apologize. I wasn't thinking.
He kind of lays on the floor and laughs a bit at himself. Uh, no, I'm fine. Are you okay?
It's been better.
What's wrong?
I'm not sure that I'm at a juncture that I should talk about it. I will, of course, let you know. I think I need some time.
Of course. Um, uh, we were going to prepare for the banquet tonight.
Oh, right. I totally. Would you beg excuse me?
Of course. Would you like us to bring you something?
No, thank you. I don't think I could eat right now.
He'll come over to you and like put a hand on his shoulder, on Eden's shoulder, and kind of like kneel down in front of him. You'll tell me what's wrong, right?
Yes, just not right now.
All right. He'll give your shoulder a squeeze and stand and go to get his less dirtied clothes out so that he can clean up real quick.
I don't know that Eden even notices that they're dirty.
Probably not. Uh, Paul might, but I think Paul's still in the kitchen. Like Paul has just been in the kitchen this entire time, eating anything that Tamira will give him, and they're about to have a banquet. Um, but yeah, and Estiel, in between like discussing things with others, doing some messaging, things like that, is helping her prepare the food as well. Kind of looking on at this odd play back and forth between them, where he looks over, and anytime she feels him looking and looks over, like he and kind of pretends that he's not looking at her. Um, he'll watch that with amusement for a bit, um, and ask Paul if he would be interested in helping set the table once they actually get everything together. I don't think he was there actually for the table biting part, so he might not realize that that's probably a terrible idea.
Paul, yeah, he's like, whatever you need.
Excellent, thank you. Um, he'll gesture for the different things as they're finished to be brought out, and the rest of you guys are able to catch them up. Uh, Probably before the Council of Nembi shows up. Um, and when they do arrive, they have one of the footmen from the castle um, escorting them on effectively a large cushioned tray. Just bringing the whole delegation in and setting it on the table. They've got the little boxes that they had the first night you were there, so that effectively they could sit on top of the table and have their own table, um, and all of that. So, yes, you guys are all present as the delegation comes in. Um, and yeah, uh,
Paul is talking to the table.
the table is not talking back.
Sure.
Although occasionally, Paul, roll me a perception check.
Oh, not great. That would be a 5.
Never mind, you don't notice.
So, as a matter of decorum, would presentation of gifts be something that would be handled before or after dinner?
It would be in between courses.
Ah, okay.
So they would bring out some of the food in the initial. The queen and Callan will enter in along with some of the other higher ranking members of this town. There are a couple of people that you've not met here before. Bold choices to be introduced to this group. Um, but but there are a few new faces up towards the head of the table as well. You gather that they're probably people who have been in dealings with the council today, handling some of the idea of the trade agreements. Um, so they bring in a large tiefling man and a small kobold that has a bluish iridescent tint to him, as well as just a run-of-the-mill human lady um, to sit at the table as well. Um, Everyone, of course, stands when the queen enters and is like decorum. But there's a musician, a blue tiefling, in the corner who is playing. It looks like an odd combination of an upright bass and uh, like a violin that she's playing with two. Uh, she's playing both of the necks with like a single bow, just kind of creating some background music. Um, So the first course is wonderful. You guys are able to get through it. Is there anybody that you are particularly talking to? Any conversation that you are trying to uh, instigate here?
Nothing specific. I'll probably wait until um, just before the main course, I suppose. At which point I would stand and approach sort of the NIMBY delegation, who I assume is sitting fairly closely to the Queen.
Yes, they would be kind of towards the head of the table. They
Okay,
would not be at the head, um, because it would make it difficult for other people to interact with them.
right. Um,
So,
I will be sure to give a bow to the Queen, um, and thank her for her hospitality, and then I'll approach the NIMBY delegation, and I'll say, um, Your Highness, and I'll speaking to the NIMBY princess, I suppose, because she was the highest ranking one. General, I have been working on a small project since being here, and I wish to present it to your kingdom at this time. And I'll pull the case up and set it sort of at where their table can see it, and then lift open the lid and show off the mech suits for them.
Is beautiful gesture. What does this do?
These will be useful for highly trained members of your military.
Imogen is like already on it. Like she's literally like in the box pulling these things out. Just wow. Uh she's very, very impressed with how this looks. And she'll look up.
Wait, do these fit together?
Indeed, they do.
Will you show us?
So I will reach in to the central one, and I'll lift up the sort of the central chest plate, and I said, now this is mainly for external activation. There are, of course, controls inside to do this same thing. And I'll just flip a little switch on the inside and pull my hand back, and as one, all five of them will step out of the case, and then they'll start transforming into. And it winds up being about a dwarf-sized little contraption.
Everybody at that end of the table just is like, wow. Um it's quite impressive. And the Nimish are speechlessly impressed. Um Finally the princess kind of gathers her wits about her.
I have never seen anything this impressive as far as technology goes. Thank you. How can we repay your generosity?
She like gives a little curtsy.
Your Highness, gifts do not require repayment. And I'll give her just as deep a bow.
Be a guest in Nimby.
You are cutting in and out.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
In high squeak voice, she says, "You shall come and be welcome as guests in Nembi."
That will be very much appreciated, Your Highness. We do have other tasks to accomplish in the meantime, but once we're done with those, I'm sure I can convince my companions to come and visit you in your realm. Do have a good
So
rest of the
easily.
dinner.
No convincing necessary.
Okay, arm twisted.
Right? Do enjoy the rest of the dinner, Your Highness. And he'll bow and head back to his seat.
She'll curtsy. Imogen is now like eyeing you with this excited intensity. Like you can tell that there will be requests in the future. Um, like she now wants to trade with you. Uh, we want a trade agreement with that guy. So so she is very much kind of taking out the idea of having a conversation with you later on behalf of the defense department of the Council of Nimby.
Just
Um,
as an
So,
aside, you have literally changed the entire politics of
of
the
course.
entire region of the place where these people are from now.
There is,
Yeah.
of course, also
You've
a set.
basically given a nuclear bomb to like 17th century
Right?
England.
So
like,
there
don't you press the button?
so there is a set of NIMBY size drawings, plans for the suits included in the case, so that if they need to do any maintenance, they can.
Imogen is just looking at those. She's kind of forgotten that food is on the table and is just like exploring the schematics and looking through everything. Um, so yeah, you have made their nights. You do also you're all able to note like they exchanged some other gifts before that with the queen. Um, there is something akin to what looks like fungus that is glowing, um, and some
My
different
favorite kind.
pieces of ore, that they have in a very fancy box, and you gather that whatever this is very, very high-priced, expensive stuff. And so the council will give it to them. They are then given different crystals in return, kind of a back and forth thing. This is arguably the coolest gift that's given that you don't know what the other things are. Like you are aware of what they look like, but you don't
I
know
have no
why they
idea
would
what they
be.
are or why they're important.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, gift exchanges happen. The food is amazing. Demira is sitting awkwardly across from Paul, trying not to make eye contact. Um, Paul is
Yeah.
maybe still talking to a table. Uh, um, yeah, is there anything else that you guys specifically want to get up to in this space?
You said it's like mostly diplomats there.
There are some, mm, I won't say diplomats, important people in the town that would have to do with some of the things that they are trading. So, um, there's a city planner. There is a person who specializes in ore. So they are not like Estiel is an ambassador, so he would be a diplomat. Callan would also function as a diplomat. Um, but yeah, for all intents and purposes, they're more important people in the town that might have stock in this trade agreement.
Okay, I'm just making sure that Paul's not going to like cause a political problem. anybody.
I mean,
I
he might.
mean,
Because he has there is no decorum for Paul in this evening's dinner.
How does he handle
Like
the
like
event?
how does he handle the event?
Yes.
With no interest for anything other than the food and the drink that's coming out, and he is consuming as if he was in the cheapest of taverns, like he does anywhere else when he is surrounded by a table full of food.
And it is all delicious. Like you watch Demira make most of it. Um, it is amazing food, and somehow or another, even though she's been effectively feeding you little bits and pieces off and on through most of the evening, you find room.
Yeah,
You're gonna be hurting tomorrow, but you
yeah.
find room.
that
Uh,
dessert stomach opening up.
yep, yep. There's a pocket dimension stomach somewhere in there.
Yeah, no.
Um,
Paul will definitely eat himself sick with that food.
we can't roll me a con save.
Constitution. Oh man, I'm rolling bad. 6.
Somewhere towards the end of the evening, you do in fact manage to eat yourself sick.
Okay.
And you can feel as things begin to try to lurch their way back up, as you sit across from the best chef you've ever met in your life, and certainly the prettiest. Um,
I immediately is there like a I immediately remove myself from the hall or from the dinner hall at full Paul speed, dashing and everything.
Put your hut back up.
So-
Eden, put the hut back up.
So basically 95 feet in a movement, like just and the first potted plant or bucket that is in the hallway or any area that is available to me is exactly where I'm going to first.
there are potted plants in the great room.
There is now
Um,
a dead potted plant in one of those is no longer a surviving potted plant.
one of the guards is watching this as you go through. Damn it! I'm gonna have to get somebody to see to that.
At least you
This,
made it to the plane. The, you know,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can-
I
You're
was
rubbing
halfway
off on
expecting it to happen on the table, so I'm impressed that
I mean, if she weren't there, it probably would have. So, and it's not that Paul's worried about her seeing him throw up. It's that Paul doesn't want her to think that he's throwing up her food because he loves the food so much. So it's like the idea of him throwing the food up in front of her is like, I can't do that. So he's not
I
embarrassed by his
love.
bodily functions by any
Oh,
means.
Paul, of course not. I love that so much. Like the fact that that is the thought process going on there just delights me to no end. Um, you managed to, get to your potted plant before completely losing your guts. Um, and now it's somebody else's problem.
As are most of the things that Paul does in a day.
Indeed, indeed. Um, when the dinner has ended, there will be the musician moves out into the great room, which is now down one potted plant, which has been taken from the space. Uh, and the musician is joined by two other musicians in a small group, and there will be dancing. Um, before we get to that, I have to use the restroom. So talk amongst yourselves for just a moment. I shall return.
Eden would be so disappointed to not be part of this, but
So I was telling Reagan, now that you've given the NIMBY that mech suit, in like 10 years, the NIMBY are going to be like the overlords of the entire region. Like there will be no surviving cats within like 100-mile
Yeah.
radius of the city. Like,
Well, and I said like they're gonna take out some like population of beetle that is required to like fertilize the crops.
You know,
So
he,
they'll
he was
lead to
just trying to do
widespread
something
death.
nice. Did not think through the ramifications.
They're gonna take out the bees.
destroy all the bees. So,
It's okay. Who needs bees?
right.
Only
Only
everybody.
Save the planet.
So, absolutely wild. So,
You
I
suddenly have a.
legitimately would love to hear like how like the development of them like over the next like decade is, 15, 20 years.
I mean, there are some other like highly technical civilizations. They just end up fighting, right? So you have like mech robots fighting each other now.
But what a great like continuation of the story if like we had to come back in and fight NIMBY because we
Right?
gave them the big
Oh,
suit.
that would be so sad, though.
Be a real Star Wars moment.
Right.
Is anybody watching X-Men 97?
Is it out?
It's every Wednesday there's a new episode. I think there's 4 or 5 episodes out now.
We haven't seen
I was unaware
Oh,
that it was out yet.
it's so good. I mean, it's super nostalgic, so it may not be as good as I think it is, but
That's all right.
Reagan was a huge fan of the X-Men cartoon
love
when she was a
X-Men.
kid. So,
Love
As
X-Men.
she should be.
What's funny is like because the animation is so good that you totally forget that it's in 97, and then one of the characters is like, page me, you got my beeper. You're like, oh yeah, that's right.
1997.
Or there was one episode they had to like there was like a TV, and it was like one of those huge boxy TVs.
They were playing video games, and it's a cartridge.
Yeah.
Like a Super Nintendo. And I was just like, I'm like, oh shit, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's
right.
like, ow, my
That's
back
how
just went out.
Yeah. Feel so old now.
Careful, Keith. It can happen. You sneeze wrong, and suddenly you've got a broken rib.
Yep.
Yeah, I've sneezed and pulled my back muscle before.
Mhm.
That's not an ego boost right there. So,
I have been stretching in bed and gotten a Charlie horse.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's not fun.
I get cramps all the time now, like when I'm sitting at my work desk.
I forget what my dad did. My dad did something. He was working outside, and I mean he had lifted several heavy things, but it wasn't until like he went and like turned to the side and picked up just a little board,
Yeah,
but because he turned and picked it up, messed up his back.
yeah. So he like fatigued all his muscles, and so when he
Yeah.
turned, his other muscles compensated for the weight, and they weren't able to do it. I've had stuff
Yep.
like that happen before too. So I remember watching Critical Role, and there's an episode where Marisha Ray, who's one of the people on it, she sneezes in the episode and cracks her rib because she sneezed so hard. And you can watch it because there's something going on, like so you just see her like in the background do it, and you watch and you can see the realization on her face, like, oh no, I have really done something bad.
Rib from
Yeah.
a sneeze.
Yeah, she sneezes, and she tries to. She doesn't like sneeze outwardly. She holds it back,
Ah.
and that's why it ends up cracking her rib because she doesn't let it out. And so, yeah, and
Poor
she
thing.
like,
It's terrible.
yeah, it's rough. And so, little baby bird ribs, I guess.
She is tiny.
And so, welcome back, Danny.
Howdy. How did we get on the topic of sneeze cracking
We're talking
ribs?
about how old we feel, and how things that shouldn't hurt a human being hurt us now.
I
Right.
feel that in ways.
Because we were watching, or because of X-Men 97.
I know not what this is. So
X-Men from 97.
Yeah,
from
the old. Well, it's the
Got
old
it.
X-Men cartoon, but they
Yeah.
rebooted it, and so now they're doing like it's like they
But
picked it up from where it left off in 1997. So that's why they're calling it X-Men 97. So it's just like it literally like picks up the very next episode, like it never stopped. And so,
Interesting.
yeah, it just started. It's on. Is it HBO or
Disney.
Disney?
Ah, yeah. I do not possess that at the current moment. But I might have to catch up on that because Jeff and I were both really big into the X-Men cartoons.
Yeah.
So
It's
that was
good. It hits all the nostalgia like that you want. So
fabulous. Fabulous.
it's just like wrapping yourself in a blanket and pouring a big old bowl of cereal for Saturday morning cartoons when you were a kid. So
Oh
That
man,
does
if
make
we
me
had
happy.
cereal, I would do that tomorrow morning.
So no cereal, I take it. Pancakes.
Well, unlike when I was, a teenager or whatever, now I'm lactose intolerant or something. So,
I am too, but I will still drink milk and eat cereal, and everybody's got to suffer for it. So
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I'm not lactose intolerant enough to hurt myself, but I am lactose intolerant enough to hurt Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's love.
It's the
Yeah.
subtext when you say I do.
Yep. You signed up for this, man.
You signed up for it.
it's true. You know it.
Usually he tells me he's glad about that too.
Yeah.
Might depend on how much cheese I've eaten.
Well,
Okay, so there's a dance party happening now in the main room. As soon as they realize that the Council of Nembi enjoys dancing, that was put as a high priority for the evening after everything was done with dinner. And yes, you guys are able to cut a rug if you would like. If there are things that you have concerns about, anything like that. If you need to go snooping someplace for untold reasons, Eric will come up to Thea and hold up the side of a triangle and extend his hand. I saved a dance for you. And
I'll heal your toes afterwards.
roll me either an acrobatics or a performance check.
Performance and some
guidance.
guys.
Yep.
27. No, I'm
Oh.
sorry. I'm not proficient in performance. 25.
That's still dang good. So yeah, it is a very, very lovely dance. He is able to lead incredibly well, but to your shock, you follow very, very well as well. And it's a good time all around. And he scoffs at you. Like, I thought you told me you couldn't dance.
I never said I couldn't. I just said I wasn't good at it.
Well, you lie. He kind of goads at you and enjoys the dance. The other two of you that are present, are you guys doing anything specific?
No, not specific.
Paul, are you dancing?
no. Paul's left the room because of the law.
Oh, you didn't come back.
But
Yeah, actually. So what Paul's going to do is after the throw up, does Paul know where they store the alcohol?
He would know that it's past the kitchen.
So Paul's going to go down to the kitchen to find where the alcohol is.
Demira is still in the kitchens, kind of like getting everything tidied up. She will eventually join everybody out there as well. But she and Callan are getting all of the dishes ready to be washed later on in the evening and whatnot. So
Yeah, I will literally like breeze right past them if they're busy. I'm not paying attention. I'm not even gonna like engage. Like I'm not trying to be sneaky, but I'm also a tiny gnome. So
With a giant sword, though.
well, that's fair. So basically, you just see this giant sword looking
walking
around
through their room.
the tables.
I imagine it
Um,
drags the ground and there's like a
Maybe. So, but yeah, I'm basically just looking for like where the
both of them turn their heads as you walk through, but don't actually stop you. Um, they, it's like if you pay enough attention through the little window to the larders, like all of the sudden there's these two big red eyes that just kind of like whoop uh in through the window, watching to see what it is that you're doing. Um, and so the first section that you enter is largely like where herbs are stored and teas and like there's a drying space where there are fresh ones being dried. There's a whole section full of medicinals and a bunch of different tinctures. Um, Once you get past that, you're beginning to get into like the wine storage, some of the food, but mainly that second space is alcohol.
okay.
So,
Do I see anything that looks interesting?
I mean, there's a lot of interesting looking stuff there. There's a very orange looking uh, liquid in some of the bottles. There is some of them are really, really pretty violet that seem like they have a little bit of a churning storm in the middle with like grays and blues. A couple of them sparkle. Um, so there's
Okay.
some
I
different
grab
things.
I grab two sparkly ones, the orange one, and then like as I'm walking back
Feeling
outward,
the alcohol.
like unconsciously just grab another one that's like right there as I'm leaving. So
See the other ones. Okay. So the one that you grab looks normal enough. There is something kind of odd on the label that looks like a small explosion. Um, but it looks like an amber colored liquor.
okay.
So,
Yeah, I take those with me, and then I'm gonna go find a nice quiet spot that maybe has like some animals or something around that's not around a bunch of people.
okay. Do you ask where to go for
I
this?
am literally randomly walking through this place. Like, who the hell knows where I'm going to end?
Uh-oh.
But I will be drinking in the process.
Okay. So, Um, we get to go on a maze hunt for Paul, figuring out where he goes.
It's going to be the
Um,
whole next adventure as you guys try to find Paul
Probably
because he's lost. He's lost in this place.
it is a bit of a labyrinth. Oh, okay. So out the kitchen door,
Yep.
or I guess out the dining room door, because we know you're going straight through the larders, straight back through the kitchen, straight back through the dining room. Um,
Wait, wait. There's another door in there, though, right?
which one? Oh yeah, the one that has all of the little Sears things in it.
That one too. I was actually thinking of a particular door that leads to a tent.
Not. Oh wait, did they move it?
I don't remember.
I think that would be in
Oh
her
no, it's in the.
drawing room.
Never mind. Yeah,
Yeah,
never mind.
that's her study. Yeah, that's in her study. Um, that would be really funny though. Okay, so, coming out of the dining room, left or right?
Do I hear any like noise? Like, do I hear like the direction where everybody's like partying and dancing? Is
You
that coming
kind of
from
come
the?
out into it.
Okay, I just literally the moment that happens, I just swerve right to go to the next place out to get away from
Okay.
the party.
So you swerve right. There is a fairly long hallway in front of you that's taking you away from the clatter. How far down do you go? There
So,
are
so
several
something else
doorways to your
interests me.
right. What's that?
So something interests me.
Um, there is a doorway that has a little bit of a breeze that like you feel a little bit of a
Oh,
push of
outdoors.
air.
That's a good spot. Boom, through that door.
Okay. Um, this has a decent length stairway going down.
Let's
It
do it.
smells very earthy in here.
Oh,
Um,
this seems great.
yeah, yeah. So when you get to the bottom of the stairway, you realize that this is like grass. This is uh, moss, grass, flowers, all of that. Your feet are on earth now. Um, there are orbs, much like the outside of the palace, that are filling the space. Well, at this point, it wouldn't necessarily be daylight. Um, at this point in the evening, it looks like fluid balls of night sky. Um,
How high up are they floating?
uh, they're up towards the ceiling. It's a pretty high ceilinged place. Ceiling. It's kind of like more of a grotto sort of a vibe, like a cavern. Cavern below a cavern. Um, so probably about like 15 to 18 feet up.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, there's these little fluid orbs that look like condensed night sky above. And there are lampposts along the outside of the space that give a little bit of just a nighttime ambiance. Um, but you can still see where you're going. There's a small stream that's running through the space. It is a surprisingly large space, and it does seem like it leads, if you followed it far back enough, it would lead to a space outside the castle, but it already sort of feels like you're outside the castle. Um, there's some like rabbits and things like that that are kind of hopping through the fields. There's a really beautiful garden. There are flowers and food based vines that are crawling up different pillars holding up the space.
Okay.
Um, and there's a little
Um.
cottage that's just kind of tucked in a corner.
Oh, there's a cottage in the corner. Okay.
Hmm.
I go sit kind of next to the stream and just start drinking and like any of the bunnies or any other like animals that are around, like I'll just literally strike up conversation with them.
Um, so one of the bunnies comes over and starts to drink next to you. This is incredibly good water. Like this water tastes somehow magical. Uh, and
I mean, I'm drinking whatever's from the bottle. So,
oh, I thought you were drinking from the stream.
so
That would
but
be really funny though. Um, it would kind of negate each other. Uh,
oh, that would be hilarious.
yeah, like I know where the stream comes from. It would negate the alcohol effects.
Oh, that would be terrible if Paul
Um,
was so sad. It'd be like, ah, this bottle of booze sucks.
The
so
watery bottle of alcohol.
yes. What bottle are you starting with?
I'm just randomly gonna grab one. Um, so what it was, I got 4 bottles.
Yeah, you got two sparkles, an orange, and a kerplowy.
Okay, 1 and 2 sparkle, 3 is orange, 4 is Kaplawi. 4
Haha!
Kaplawi. We're going straight out.
All right. So you start in on that, and one of the rabbits that's coming over and sitting next to you, just seems very, very interested in you at first.
Yeah.
It's a little
Hey,
nervous.
Hello. You're from above?
sure, yeah.
You're
Are
new.
you,
I don't recognize you.
I'm Paul.
Hi, Paul. I'm Piff.
Hi, Piff.
Piff.
Piff. Hello, Piff. You have a nice. Is this your home? You have a nice home.
Here.
It is very nice.
It is. It's a nice home.
Yeah. So it's quiet. I like that.
It's very quiet. It's not always quiet, but it's usually quiet. They like it calm here.
Yeah. You thirsty?
I could drink.
I have this stuff here. I'm gonna have some. You want some of it?
Oh dear.
No, 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 no. Drunk rabbit. That's great.
Try some?
I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna take a swig first, and then
Okay.
you can try. So I take a swig, and no negative. Like I'm not like like I don't like explode in flame or anything like that, do
Not immediately.
I? Okay, okay. Uh,
Not immediately. That's
Uh,
so yeah, so if when I drink it, if I don't think that there's anything like dangerous about it, I will like offer like a little pour, like I'll pour a tiny little bit out for the bunny to try.
The bunny laps it up, kind of. It does have a bit of the feel of whiskey with a little bit of a more more of a savory taste. Like the feel of whiskey, but a taste more akin to herbed brown butter.
mm,
Um,
Okay,
it's an odd flavor, but it does have that burn to the back of it.
I'm like,
Um,
oh, this is some stout stuff.
as the rabbit starts to respond, you notice that he breathes fire.
Oh no! Whoa, that's really cool.
It burns! Oh, oh!
That's a really cool trick. Can you do it again?
Am I a dragon now?
And it continues. Um,
I've never seen a bunny do that. That's amazing.
Never been a dragon before.
he sips another little bit out of the capful.
I could terrorize any hawk.
That is the coolest thing I have seen all day. That is awesome.
Forget the mouse mech suits, man. We got a fire breathing
Yeah.
bunny.
Fire breathing bunny. So yeah, I'm just gonna kick it with my new friend Biff, and we're just gonna hang out and you know.
Once you get far enough into the bottle, you too begin to breathe fire.
Ah, it's like oh, and we're just sitting there, just like I'm gonna try to like blow like fire rings and like see if I can do like little tricks with it.
Sure, roll me a performance.
Sure, no, this is not gonna go well.
Biff the fire breathing bunny.
15.
Honestly, it's not too bad. Um, you're able to get some decent little like ring puffs going. Like they ignite and then the flame backs away and it just leaves this like ghost puff um of rings above you. Um, so yeah, you're able to do some cool little tricks. The more complicated they start getting, the sloppier they start getting.
Sure.
But you're able to get some decent ones out there. So, well done. Well done. So you're kicking it with your bunny friend.
Taking it with my friend.
We'll make sure some point in the near future that you haven't burned the world down. Um, so
I mean,
at the dance party, if you will, Estiel does come around and tell each of you that regarding planning for your adventures, if he could have a word after the festivities have ended, um, he could help organize what needs to happen the next day so that you can be preparing adequately and that he can make sure that any of the resources that you want to take advantage of are available to you. Um, is there anything specific that you guys would like to do um, during all of this?
Just try to enjoy a night of fun because we
Yeah.
have a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. So
Um, the mice will occasionally like ask one of you to dance. Eric is quite happy to dance with Thea. Um, he'll make his way around and like anybody who asks, he'll happily dance with. Um, but but yeah, he favors kind of dancing with Thea, seeing as she has put up with a whole lot of bizarreness tonight, um, and will kind of like the festivities continue on. All of you guys end up at some point with a tiny mouse companion clinging
Of
to you
course.
in something that looks vaguely like dancing. Um, it's a little hard when you've got that much of a size difference. So a lot of times it just ends up being like, okay, one of them can stand on a podium and you can bust a move next to him or something. Um, but generally speaking, it's a really good time. Uh, it's a fun party. There are uh, like really beautiful ornamental flowers that are given to each of you as the night ends, as the festivities kind of draw to a close. Um, and yeah, so you guys have successfully survived the Council of Nembi banquet. Um, and Eden is still locked away in his room.
I rolled for coping mechanisms. He is currently drinking heavily
Oh dear.
all of the alcohol that was in the bag of holding.
Oh
Uh,
dear.
and he is, if anybody shows up in the room, until somebody catches his notice, he is actively talking um, to Adeline.
Gotcha, gotcha. Um, okay, so Estelle will ask all of you back into the dining room and uh, ask if your other friends who are now not with you, uh, if they would like to be present. If you would like to find them and uh, bring them in.
Probably be a good idea, yes.
How do you go about finding your friends?
So, does anyone happen to know where Eden is?
Eden's up in the room. He wasn't feeling very good. Um,
Hmm. Still feel like he should be a part of. And Paul, when was the last time we saw Paul?
Eric's eyes get a little big. Uh-oh.
I mean, I don't hear any screaming, so
Before then, we
Right,
hear,
so there's no violence.
"The castle's on fire!" Like,
Um, so yeah, Paul, roll me. Hmm. Just roll me a D100.
a D100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a high chance this is going to go terribly. You are right next to water, but there might be a
86.
chance. Okay, you're fine. You managed to not set the world on fire. Good job. Uh,
I don't set the world on fire.
now, do you ask about Paul like before Estelle has left the room, or is that something that you ask about like
I mean,
amongst each
probably.
other?
Probably.
yeah. I mean, we need to try to talk about it tomorrow. I guess I'll see if I can talk to Eden with the message jewelry and just say, "Hey, Eden, I know you're not feeling good, but it still needs to talk to us about what we found out when we were weed walking. Is there any way you could come down here for a minute?"
You get a sort of slurred fine. I don't care, I'll be there.
He's on his way. This is going to be interesting.
Oh, good.
Hey, has anybody seen Zilla?
Well,
No, I
actually,
don't think she was at the I don't think I saw her at the banquet tonight. Did you?
Didn't. She wasn't in the room with Eden.
Huh.
Eric looks very concerned now. I hadn't thought of that. That is unusual. Asteel will, realizing that Paul is not there. Ah. You see his eyes go completely white for a moment. Shit.
Is he like visually looking for me in the gun? He just
Yep.
Paul's like on all fours next to this bunny going fire out
There's
swinging
a
bottles.
mix of extreme concern and laughter in his voice at the same time as he says this. Just this shit. And like I'll I'll fetch your friend. His eyes uncloud. So he and Callan both have layer actions here. They can see anything that's happening if they actually focus in on it and try to find somebody in the castle walls or look into a specific room. Yes.
Player question, because Eden obviously would have no idea. So that from where Paul is, it's easy eyesight to the cottage, right?
Yes.
There wouldn't happen to be a little girl who might look out and see a fire-breathing bunny and Paul?
She wouldn't be
Is
so
she
little
home? I don't
anymore.
know. That's
She
true.
was, yeah, she would be like 18 now.
Gross.
She's probably kind of here and there, all over the place in the castle. You guys just haven't actually like run into her yet. Um, but yeah, she's doing her architecture thing. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, there's not a little girl currently there. That would be really funny though. It's like, oh God, a fire breathing bunny. uh, um, but yes, Estiel will. After a short while, Paul Estiel comes down the stairs and looks over, and initially he seems to be very much in a hurry. When he sees you and is able to tell that you can now see him, he slows down and comes off as very calm.
Smart Paul.
Paul, sir, um, we have a few things that we're going to go over before we retire for the night regarding some of the resources that will be available to you throughout your journey to find these phylacteries of Cochet. If you would join us upstairs for a bit.
Only if you can give me another bottle of this.
Against my better judgment, I will say deal. Um,
Great. I turn to the bunny. I say, Piff, I am really sorry, but I have to go take care of some business. But you can have the rest of the bottle. You have fun, and I can't wait to visit you again. And I can put the bottle down for the bunny.
As Steele bends down and like pets the bunny. Good job, Piff. And casts lesser restoration on it. And like slowly just sleight of hands the bottle into his robes. Like wow. Okay. He'll gesture for you to come up the stairs with them.
Okay.
All right. So at the in the dining room, Eden is joining begrudgingly.
And he is so even for Paul, who's been with Eden for quite a while at this point, Eden will drink occasionally, but Paul has never seen him drunk until right just now.
So Paul like notices you're like over like drunker than you've ever been. I like
Yeah.
smack your ass super hard and say, "About fucking time," and hand you another bottle.
Eden just takes it and chugs, which is not a great idea.
No.
And this one is I don't know if it does anything special, but well, we don't have that bottle anymore, so it's not that one.
Too
Golly,
bad.
jeez, Louise. Okay, it's
It really wants you to have the
yeah,
bottle.
right. I just rolled 4 3 times in a row. It's the one of the sparkly ones.
Okay. So as you swig, there is a very distinct mouth feel like pop rocks happening, but it doesn't stop at the mouth. It has that effect all the way down. It tastes very pleasant, but it is an alarming sensation for somebody who just took a swig without having any idea what they were doing. Um,
This might be the best thing for a guy who goes through a breakup because at this point, like, you got bigger problems right now than your emotional
Fair.
distress.
Got some
It's
deep
like,
distress
oh
all the
no.
way through.
Well,
Like,
especially since he was already not super as coherent as he should be. Like, yeah, he immediately hands you back the bottle.
I pull a big swig of it myself.
and pops and crackles all the way down.
Oh, please tell me the fire stuff's still working too.
Ooh. Yes. Yes. I'm not gonna roll that. It's just happening.
Yeah.
Um, so now Paul breathes fireworks.
Oh wow.
God.
Well, that's
Estiel kind of
That's new. Have you always been able to do that?
I think so. I think I
this
unlocked a new power.
is an interesting evening with interesting people. Um, would any of you like to be more clear-headed for this conversation? He looks very pointedly at Eden, um, and then like kind of to Paul, although he kind of gathers Paul is just sort of
Wouldn't help.
in.
It's not gonna
Yeah,
help the conversation one bit.
yeah. So it's a more pointed thing to Eden.
What is wrong with?
He'll reach over and like touch your shoulder and cast lesser restoration on you.
Does it stop the pop rock sensation though?
Well, it is reversing the effects of the alcohol. So in this particular case, it's probably still going to be there's still going to be some of that popping sensation happening, but your brain will at least be able to probably deal with it better. It won't be nearly as alarming. It won't feel like I'm in danger. Um, won't quite have that same impact anymore. Better.
I don't know if I would call it better, but sure, yes.
Eric will sit next to you and kind of just like grab your hand if you take it. Um, so, upon discussing with some of my acquaintances and friends that this particular quest that you are endeavoring to go upon, we have a few different resources available to you. Our inventive friend that I spoke of, Isanji, can be here by midday tomorrow to discuss with you the idea of perhaps shields from the weave that can be used on the items themselves. In addition to that, there are representatives from two different groups that work within our walls that are skilled in different proficiencies that could help perhaps divide and conquer on some of these tasks. They could join us as well. One of them, the entire group, could join us. Another, my brother-in-law, will be the liaison between you and the rest of the group, as most of them are currently elsewhere, but can be called back for an important task. So, knowing this, is it safe to assume that you would wish to speak with them all?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, given the enormity and gravity of our task, I think that would be wise. We could probably use all the help that is trusted, of course, that we can get.
I would not align you with anyone that I do not trust to be able to do this well and to stay on our side of this ethical bridge, if I might say that. Now, I have. Oh, actually, he already procured maps of the places that he knew about for you. Um, I myself do have, as well as Callan, we do have connections at the library and could escort. That is an option. I think of the people that I am aware of, um, we know that space the best. So one of us could be persuaded easily to go with you as I hesitate to say a guide, as you will understand that a guide is not exactly as useful as it would seem. Um, but as a friend to the library, I anticipate that there would be more doors open than for a stranger. Um, we are still trying to gather more information about the Erdi Islands. Um, but we are going to do our very best to have as much information as we can before sending anyone into an unknown space. Um,
That's where the well was, correct?
yes. So all of that to be said, being said, we can meet with those who would be of assistance tomorrow at lunch, and between them, their resources, their suggestions, uh, decide a plan for your progress. Does this sound acceptable? Are there other things that I need to see to this evening that would put us on the right path that I've not yet thought of?
On our end, you froze after meeting tomorrow at lunch.
Oh, um, pretty much he was just asking if that was acceptable, and is there anything else that you can think of that he needs to address before um, speaking to those people that he's not thought of?
So we have to go to these places to do the factories to get the factory. Are we getting the factories, or what are we doing?
Hopefully breaking them, but uh, transporting them to wherever we need to do to destroy them.
Yes,
I anticipate.
we need to procure them and get them out of his sight so that we can deal with them.
Although it might be wise to break them all at once if we can manage that, because the
Yes.
less advanced warning he has, the better.
I do anticipate that Isanji would have some information about how to safely break cursed items. He may have to study them first, depending on the type of curse involved, but he should be able to speak with us more thoroughly on the matter tomorrow. So hopefully we can destroy them as they are found. But if not, I anticipate that he will be invaluable to understanding how to end them.
The only other thing I can think of is if everybody just wants to brainstorm about the fastest way to travel to all of these places. Um, I don't think I can learn a teleportation spell. But I don't know if it would be worth it for us to get like a small airship or something that we can
Let's see.
take
What
to
level are we
somewhere.
again?
If anybody else has an idea on that.
We are
We
level
are
8.
8. Yeah, I think it's a little bit before I can learn teleportation.
Yeah, if I can't, if it's a ritual spell, I can do it. But
I believe it is a ritual spell, but I think it's higher than our level. Let's see. What's going on? Oh, that's why I'm looking in my prepared spells. Like, why can't I find?
That'll
Well,
do
that's
it.
why.
didn't say like right here around here.
You will say if you can cast it as a ritual spell.
Yeah, that's a 5th level spell, so we've got a bit yet.
Because there's just teleport, and that's a 7th level.
Yeah.
Teleportation circle is a 5th level, but it's gonna be a bit before we're there. So
Steele's face kind of squinches up a little bit. Well, we can teleport you there. Queen Aitigan has the ability to teleport you. We could
wait.
likely teleport you back, as long as the field of contact can be maintained. That might be a little bit more difficult depending on what kinds of problems are found there. And I know that it doesn't work very efficiently inside the library walls.
Oops.
Once you're outside of them, though, that should be acceptable.
I closed the drawer and it knocked my camera down.
I was
There
like,
we
oh, I just got drunk. Uh, Drunk by association. Um, there is another option that might be available to us. There would be people that would frown about it rather considerably. It might be worth calling in a bit of a favor. Um,
go. I mean, I think we've accrued a lot of favored debt already. Stuff that is hard to pay back. But
also doing a great good potentially. I don't want to do anything to hinder that. I've acted inside the boundaries of the regulating body for this entity for a very long time, uh, out of its best interest. I'll see what I can do. If I can get permission by the Seven Sons, um, we will call upon some assistance to get you where you need to go without having to worry as terribly much about being able to hear you to get you back.
as a note, the next level up we have, I can get teleportation circle, but
Ooh.
that's next level.
How long does that take to set up? The circle takes like an hour, right?
I believe so. Casting time 1 minute, actually.
Oh wow, that's faster than I thought. I thought teleport itself was a 1 minute thing. Okay,
I think
that
teleport is
works.
instantaneous.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one action for teleport. Teleportation circle takes a minute to set up.
Good to know. All right. Um, yeah, you're not quite there yet. I don't remember when is the last time you guys had a level up? Been a minute, but we've been in RP land for a bit.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it feels like a long time, but I mean, in terms of like how long we've in game, it's
Like
probably not that long.
a week or two.
Yeah,
Mm.
that makes sense. Um, yeah, there might be some threads that would come from this anyway that would be useful, so we'll see. Um,
Is there, by chance, I am a little bit unfamiliar with the magic, I can begin study for it, to set up our own teleportation circle. However, each individual teleportation circle has its own arcane sigilry, and I would need to know those in order to be able to use them. Um, is there any way that there's a like a listing of these teleportation circles that are open to the public at least?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Like a yellow book
Uh,
for teleportation circles.
right. So he's looking for like a listing maybe of any teleportation circles that might be available for the public to access, because he just needs the sigils to be able to access them.
His eyes like kind of lift a little bit. Actually, I do think I don't have a comprehensive list of all of the ones that we might have available. However, we do have some available through a restaurant. Um, it's an odd thing. Um, we can at least get you to a few different places closer than we might be able to otherwise through that. So yes, we can provide you with some sigils, at least certainly to different areas on the Smeraldi continents, and some in the Celestial realm. Um, we have none established in the Under yet. We might still do best for this to consider the Seven Sons. Um, I will reach out and contact them. I need to speak with Asanji anyway. He'll be a good point of contact for that, as well as Miss Billy. Um,
Um, a reminder for Thea, who is more familiar by far than Eden. There is a representative of the Seven Sons in the castle currently, uh, whose name is evading me. The one that Pyram kidnapped. What was her
Arabella.
name? Arabella, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh, Eden doesn't, strictly speaking, know that, but you would.
okay.
Good catch, because I actually forgot she was there too.
I totally forgot she was there. I wrote a note about her not too long ago.
Yeah, you were going to set up a meeting between her and Siu.
That's right. Oh, here we go.
But yeah, she works with the Seven Sons, so she would be a potential contact for whatever this is that he is thinking that we could do.
Okay.
And he'll leave that ambiguous for right now unless asked further. Um, so we meet tomorrow and try to work out a more thorough plan. Very well. Thank you again for all of your efforts and your willingness to do what you can to keep our realms safe. It is appreciated. We'll try and make sure that you're supported. Well, if that's all, I will let you all get a good night's sleep. Do you need anything to make your stay more comfortable?
Paul then holds up his bottle and goes, points.
More? Oh. He'll go back and pull out the new one. I would advise you to please not breathe on anything flammable. Please.
Absolutely. And I grab the bottle and I look at him. What's a flammable?
No.
Paul, anything that could potentially light on fire is flammable.
Well, how would I know if it can light on fire if I don't light it?
Just assume that it lights on fire if you don't know.
Okay.
Estiel just nods and kind of pinches the bridge of his nose. Ah, this is going to be a long night. All right. You all rest well. Someone who has the capacity to shape water, if you would not mind, perhaps staying close to our Master Paul.
Yeah, I've got it.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much. Um, all of you sleep well, and if you need anything, just call. And he will kind of let you dismiss yourselves as he looks over various papers and stuff that he's spread out on the dining room.
Hey,
What
Paul.
do you?
Let's. I want to try some of that if that's okay. Let's go on the walk.
Cool. I know a cool spot. Follow me.
Okay.
Um. So, yeah.
I
What you
guess
got, Thea?
before they head off down the corridor, I was. Hey, Eden, can I talk to you for just a second?
Um, Paul apparently can breathe fire, so I'm. If you are willing to walk with me, I can talk. Yes.
Okay, I'll walk with you. I have a feeling I've put a couple of things together, and seems like you need a night off. I totally get that. Is Scylla okay? Is she safe? Do we know where she is? I haven't seen her all.
I don't know. If I had to guess, I would suspect she is at the tavern in town, potentially, or at the blacksmith shop in town.
Who the hell is Scylla?
She's been with us for weeks.
I don't remember this person.
The, the only
The other-
other girl that's been traveling with us for weeks.
We have a girl traveling with us?
You're just a Thea.
Just- okay.
Yeah,
Just go drink with Paul. Try not to catch the castle on fire, please.
I will do my darndest.
Teffin, what are you getting up to for a minute?
Well, seeing as how most of our plans are sound to be get together tomorrow to make our plans, I'm gonna head off. Well, first of all, are any of the? I mean, the NIMBYs are all gone at this point. Yeah.
They would be in the room.
Okay. If any of them wanted to talk, I'd be more than happy to do that. But if not, then I will probably take my leave and go check up on Quimby and make sure everything with the cart is ready, not knowing how quickly we're going to be heading out.
Fair enough. Visney and Flea are interested in going with you and just kind of like getting out and seeing the town.
Okay.
So you can have a Nimish on either shoulder.
Certainly. I'll take them with one on each shoulder and hold whatever conversation they wish to have. Point out some of the things that I have seen. Not that I've seen just oodles, but I'll point out things that I have seen.
Do you go exploring?
You know what the hey? Yeah, let's go. Let's just go exploring and see what we find.
Get lost in the caves of wonder.
Okay. So, there are a few different ways. Let me procure my map over here. There are a few different ways that you could go. Do you go left or right? Out of the castle grounds. Like there's the castle, And then there is like that little sectioned off space very near to the castle that is fortified. And then there's the town proper past that fortification. So,
So my choice is left or right.
outside the fortification, yeah, which is kind of where Quimby is. He'd be like right where that space is.
Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do is check up on him, make sure everything's okay, and then we'll say odds left, evens right. And that's a 20,
He's a
so
happy
that's
horse.
evens, so we're going right.
All right. So you end up turning right and going through these really, really lovely little shops and whatnot that are built into these massive tree roots. Um, as you round one of the corners around a building, it looks maybe like it was um, kind of an inn. There are a few other small shops attached to it. There is a large greenhouse area that's encased in crystal. Um,
Okay.
that is present there. It looks like some kind of a conservation effort that's happening there in the middle of that space. Um, you would know, like, this is a different route than you took in. There was a path that kind of took you to the side of all of this that ended up kind of dumping out on the yellow brick road. Um, so if you continue to go straight from here, you will continue onto the yellow brick road, which will take you up and out of the cavern system. But there are a lot of different little shops. There's some nightlife and some fun like dance halls and places where people are getting drinks and things to that effect.
Not sure that there's anything I need shopping wise, but if my companions want to peruse shops, we can do that, or we can take in some of the nightlife and see what's what.
They would be interested in maybe the nightlife. The shops are largely closed by this hour,
I would
as
have assumed,
getting
yeah.
into the evening.
Okay, so we'll
So
yeah, I'll pick in, peek in on one of the hot spots.
awesome. Um, so there is a little spot. Um, let me see if I can find my list of names here. Oh, the Staggering Satyr. Um, and that is like a bar, and it maybe wasn't intended as a dancing place specifically, but there is clearly a lot of dancing, and apparently they really have enjoyed the dancing thing. They are a small but celebratory bunch. Um, so they enjoy that kind of atmosphere and seeing all of the different people in it. It is crowded enough, however, that they are not very likely to get off your shoulder unless it's onto a bar proper.
Right.
Um,
Okay. Well, we'll poke our head in and just kind of see what there is to be seen. Um,
it's a really eclectic group of people. There are some Galabdur, there are kobolds, tieflings, all kinds of different things. Humans are more rare at this in this particular space, and there are quite a few Renethri as well.
okay. Any like particular? I mean, there's dancing, obviously. Is there any particular like other like games or entertainments going on?
There is a wrestling ring, kind of makeshift in the corner. Um, so yep, there's that. There's some stuff like kind of in the back. There's a back of the area where they've set up some kind of like cornhole party games just to keep people like moving a little bit um, while they're having conversation if they don't want to be in with the loud music. Uh, kind of out on the patio.
Hmm.
guys just partying with them.
Yeah, I think so. I'll probably try and find a spot. Probably try and find a spot like at the end of the bar closest to the dance floor where I can set my friends down. And I'm going to kind of leave this up to you as the DM because um, as a changeling, it says that I can change my appearance, including um, size, height, and weight.
Does
So
it dictate how much?
you can change your appearance and your voice, determine the specifics of the change, including coloration, hair length, sex, height, and weight. You can make yourself appear as a member of another race, though none of your game stats change. You can't duplicate the appearance of a creature you've never seen, and you must adopt a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs that you have. Your clothing and equipment aren't changed by this trait.
Well, that'll be interesting if you decide to go Nimish. You'll just
Right?
be swallowed by your clothes. Um, so yeah, I mean, it doesn't give you a size limitation, I guess. So you could potentially, if you wanted to, become a NIMBY.
And remind me who came with me?
So that would be Visney and Flea.
Visney and Flea. I am not remembering those names.
They're not the ones that tend to have gotten the most attention. Like
Okay,
Imogen has been buddied up
right.
with you guys because she and Paul can trade word stories. So, um, so yeah, Flea is another one of the guards, and Visney is more of a magic user.
Okay. Um, yeah, probably just set him down there so that we can sort of cut a rug at the end of the bar. Um, he gives a little thought to trying to to become Nimish, but then he realizes, oh wait, if I do that, this could get really awkward really quick. So he does kind of like take on, he starts to he sort of starts to shrink just a little bit, and then his clothes get all baggy. And in the process, he's also starting to take on some of the Nimish characteristics, feature-wise. Um, but that kind of stops about the same time that he realizes, oh wait, this could get real awkward real quick. Um, but then he doesn't undo it. He just stays where he stopped and keeps doing cutting a rug with them and just having a good time.
A few of the drunks at the bar definitely think that they have had far too much, and a few other people looking on are just like, "Whoa! Did you see what that guy did?" So you have acquired some glances and responses for sure.
Probably not even aware of them, honestly.
So you're doing your thing.
Hmm.
Paul, you're taking Eden to the cottage. Alrighty then. So yeah, what's that look like?
I just bring him down there and I say, "This is a cool spot to drink in."
By
The
all
rabbit,
means.
the rabbit is still there and
Yeah,
looks.
hey, buddy.
Paul, I'm not a dragon anymore.
That's okay. Neither am I.
Did you make me a dragon?
I have no idea.
Do you think I could be a dragon again?
Maybe.
Eden, you just see this rabbit.
Yeah, and I don't understand the conversation, so
Nope, not at all. Just chittering and like breathing into the air strangely. Probably looks sick to you. Uh,
oh,
I pull out the orange bottle and I say, "Let's see what this one does."
so, uh, as you drink it, it tastes very much like a very strong citrus liquor. Um, I hesitate to say wine. It burns quite a bit more than wine, but it has
Like
that
Grand
fruity.
Marnier.
A what?
Never heard Grandma make
I say Grand
itself.
Marnier.
I've never
Orange
had it
liqueur.
actually, so I'm not sure. Um,
People
yeah,
drink.
it's more of a liquor than a liqueur. Um, it has a similar burn to harder liquors,
Mhm.
um, but has more of that lighter, fruitier taste associated, more like a wine. Um, it does kind of give you it's got a mood elevating component to it. So the more you drink, the more you tend to like feel like it does not negate the problematic thoughts in your head, but it does make you feel lighter and uh, a bit easier to make laugh. Things feel a little just just lighter in general. It's a bit of a mood elevator. So
So at first, Eden will probably like he'll drink with Paul, and then he'll get into kind of a reminiscent mood and be like, "Do you remember when?" And go into some of their old stories. And after a minute, he'll tell a joke and realize that it falls really flat, and then he's going to cast Tasha's hideous laughter on both of them, and he's going to fail his own save.
I love that.
Okay.
That makes me smile.
And what kind of a save is it?
Wisdom.
Oh, that's not good. So,
Yep,
so
wisdom
that's a
saving throw.
3.
Oh dear.
So both of us are incapacitated until the end of the spell, which is like a minute later.
That is amazing. I love everything about that. So you guys are forced to laugh at Eden's terrible joke. Um, and I just enjoy that so much. The rabbit also laughs. Um,
Oh yeah, that poor thing. It's caught in the spell.
and it's very confused. Uh,
But it's cool with it because it's also been drinking the orange liquor with us.
exactly. He does not mind now that he's not a dragon rabbit anymore. He was very downtrodden about it earlier, but he's come to accept his fate as a non-dragon rabbit. Um, so yes. Uh, Scylla, Sophia. Um, after you address Eden, Eric will look over at you. Should we find her?
Yeah. Um, let me see if I can contact her and make sure she's doing okay. And I will cast sending for her. And it's 25 words. Hey, Scylla. It's Thea. Just wanted to check on you. Hope you're doing okay. Where are you? Do you need us? You can reply.
Good
Well
job.
done.
That was a very efficient use of words. Um, it takes a moment, but you do get back. Um, I am at the Painted Inn. Have to secure travel back. Heart hurts. If you want to say goodbye, feel free.
I guess we're headed to the Painted Inn.
Eric will just nod and follow your lead. So, what happened? I thought that everything was going very well. Do you know?
I don't know what happened. Actually, I do, but that's not mine. So
We're talking about like building a boat together and all kinds of strange things. Um, should we try to keep her to convince her to stay a few more days?
were we building a boat?
No, she had talked about it with Eden, and
Oh,
he had caught little bits and pieces of conversation. Um, but yeah, like they were making big plans together.
mm,
Do you think that we should try to convince her to stay?
selfishly, I think we should try to convince her to stay, to potentially go with one of the other groups if she doesn't want to stay with our group. Um, because we're kind of trying to save the world, and she's a good fighter. But if that's too painful for her, I mean, I have to respect that decision. She has to do what's best for her.
Yeah, I mean, fuck the world.
Yeah.
Going through a rough breakup, let the whole world burn it.
I've been there. I've been so heartbroken. I wouldn't have cared.
Like F it all. So yeah, he'll walk with you to the inn on the outside of the fortification. There's the one that's right there close to the castle, and this is one of the nicer ones on the other side. Um, and she is not at the tavern portion of it. Um, but she does occasionally like stick her head out, and you can actually see at some point very puffy eyed tiefling kind of pokes her head out from the hallway down the corridor to see who is like if you are coming out or anything like that. Um, she she sees that Eric's with you and kind of like bolts a little bit more inward because it suddenly dawns on her that she just like up and left without telling Eric anything. She's a bit distracted by the other half of the equation. So, um, at after kind of coming to terms with the fact that she oops, kind of slowly peeps her head back around the corner and kind of gives you a weak, kind of pathetic, puny wave.
We'll head over there to her, and I don't know. I'll kind of judge if she needs a hug or not. Some people don't like just give off the "don't touch me" energy.
She looks like she really wants a hug,
Okay, I will give her a hug.
as will Eric. Like, he'll just kind of like wrap both of you up. Big group hug moment. Um,
Thanks.
For comforting your D&D girlfriend.
Yep.
I'm glad you're attached. uh, she'll like kind of gesture for you guys to come in and sit down. She's got a bunch of stuff sort of packed up to the side, um, and just kind of sits on her the edge of her bed. I'm sorry. I I shouldn't have just left. And she'll apologize to Eric too.
Okay, we just were more worried about you.
I understand what he is thinking, but I think he is thinking wrong. But I can't do anything about that. And me staying would be a distraction to him. So it felt like the best thing to do at the time, so that I am not a an unnecessary distraction to your goal.
You're not. You're a very good fighter, and you've saved us on more than one occasion. Um, I know that your heart hurts right now, but if I could just persuade you to stay one more night, we're having a meeting tomorrow with Estelle. And we're trying to figure out how best to tackle this whole saving the world mission that we've somehow found ourselves in. And we might need you in that.
Way that I can be useful. I would try. Eric will kind of saddle up next to her and just kind of like wrap an arm in, pull her in tight. We'll find a way. This is going to be one of those things where all hands will need to be on deck, I think. And it seems like there are other groups involved. And maybe you can be a part of that. Maybe I can as well. But you're very valuable. And this doesn't mean that you are not.
He doesn't know what's going on, right?
Nope. He's just winging it.
Okay.
He has gathered that she has been broken up with, because he would be really stupid to not know this. But he doesn't know any of the details yet.
Got
Yeah. So he's just kind of faking like he knows anything. And is kind of following Thea's lead because he gathers that Thea knows more than him. And he's quite fond of Scylla. So like, he doesn't want to be pushy because he also understands that his role is not necessarily a traditional one. So he's just trying very hard to try and toe the appropriate lines. She does kind of like melt into his side a little bit. And she wipes tears. If you believe that I can be useful, then I will come and join you tomorrow and see what they have to say. And I should have said goodbye. I'm sorry. It was a shock all at once. I thought I was going to have to murder my brother at first because I thought somehow my brother had gotten under his skin, and it turns out that was not it. But now my brother might want to murder him. I might have accidentally fled the castle crying. And my brother might have taken note of that.
I mean, might serve it.
I think he is trying to do the right thing. I just think he is misjudged. But I don't think that he will listen to me, and maybe he shouldn't. I don't know. Maybe his pull is too much. And the only reason that I think these things is that my brain is not working right. But I don't think that is true. But until he believes that, that does not matter. Eric is very confused.
Don't know. I don't know how much like downtime we're gonna have, but if I can try to find some research or something.
Thank you. She'll like lean over and hug you. I appreciate your effort, but I also know that you will probably not have very much downtime, and that is okay too. He will have to figure it out for himself. Maybe other people along the way will be able to help here and there, but that is not the goal, and I know that. It will be what it will be. But he asked me to keep this. She holds up a journal. So he can contact me if he wants to. So see. But I will come and join you tomorrow and listen to what they have to say.
Thank you. That's very strong of you to do that. I wouldn't want to.
I did not say I wanted to. If it was just you all going, I am afraid that I would be more harm than good because I would be a distraction to him. And he has more usefulness in some of the situations that we saw than I would. But if there are others going outside of that, then it would make sense for me to try.
That's what we're trying to coordinate. So to have a couple of groups going in different directions, but we'll just kind of see how that plays out tomorrow.
Try to tell my brother to not try to skin him. I make no promises.
Or well for anybody.
Nope. Nobody involved is going to be happy about a brother and ex-boyfriend fight. As the DM, I think it would be funny. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. It's not going to be good for anybody.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Well,
if it's
for right now, what do you need? Do you need a drinking buddy? Do you need to be left alone? Do you we could just all sit here and look at the wall or
You don't have to stay here with me. I think maybe I just need to sleep. I would think that I would need to sleep for a week and a half, but I am apparently waking up tomorrow.
it's lunch tomorrow so you can sleep in.
I will. I will have a couple of shots and curl up under the covers and try to disappear for a while. Are you saying something? I can't tell.
Oh, I said I can understand that, and I was looking to see if I had like a book or something that would leave her, but I don't think she wants essays on death right now. So,
Maybe not. Maybe not. It's a little insensitive.
yeah,
That's okay though.
I'll just keep that. So, okay. Well, if you need anything at all, you know where to find us. Um, and if not, we'll see you tomorrow at lunch.
Thank you. Eric will kind of kneel down next to her. I'll stay if you'd like. And she'll smile and kind of pull his forehead to hers. I appreciate that, but not right now. I just want to be left alone for right now. Thank you. And she'll like kiss his forehead and let him stand and go. Well done, you found the Scylla. I kind of figured she'd probably get out of Dodge before you guys had a chance to catch up with her. But it's expeditious. On the way back, Eric will kind of look over to you. So, what was that?
Uh, they broke up.
Well, yes, I gathered that much.
Yeah. Eden's going through some stuff. It's not that I don't trust you. It's just
Oh,
it's
no.
not my story to tell. So
Well, hopefully he'll be telling me soon, I hope. All right. Fair enough. Do you think is this something? What's that?
Jason said Eden has an STD, and I said kind of,
I'm, I-
kind of.
He might. Hmm. Well, I find your integrity in keeping his secrets uh very heartwarming. He's lucky to have a friend like you. As is Scylla. I hope that they understand the degree of that. You're an excellent friend, in spite of the fact that Paul hates you sometimes.
Can't win them all.
You stole from him. Like within the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks that he knew you.
You're not wrong, but it's not like I just stole from him.
But
It's like you
Paul
meet a
doesn't
new
see things
person
that
and then
way.
you steal from them. How do you think they're going to think about you for the rest of that relationship?
I saved Paul's ass like 2 games ago.
That is true. She saved you a few times at this point. But, he has to actually know that.
Yeah.
You guys make it back to the castle. Um, and yeah, you've got the rest of the night. So, Paul and Eden, do you get up to anything interesting after Vicious Mockery?
Drinking and drinking.
Roll me a con save. Excuse me.
That is a
Couldn't read that.
non-natural 20.
Very
Con
nice.
+4, so 6.
Oh dear. Oh goodness. Well, you are once again, for the second time this evening, slosh drunk. Mazel tov.
That's what he was going for.
Yep.
And again, he's
He-
as soon as he hits the point where he's like swimming a little bit, he stops talking to Paul and starts talking to Adeline.
Would this be something normal to Paul for you?
I mean, Eden usually tries to hide it because he realizes that not everybody sees her. Um, So Eden doesn't get drunk. This is not something that Eden does. So this is probably a pretty unusual thing, even around Paul.
Oh, that's good. You didn't care. You can talk to space, whatever. It makes you happy. So, are you
Just
like visibly like wasted drunk?
Yeah.
Okay. Paul will like grab his flask and get some of the water from the stream and hand it to Eden and be like, "Hey, drink this. You obviously gone too far."
He'll take a sip,
And
but
gives him
he's
some
not real.
water to try to help alleviate whatever hangover he's going to have tomorrow by having some hydration in his system.
well, because of where this is from. Guess what? You're now no longer drunk.
Back and forth is
Yeah,
problematic.
own kind of problem. It's just a roller coaster for Eden tonight.
Is the water like magic?
Yep, the water in this whole place is magic. There are some specific parts of it that are more magic than others, and you guys are pretty dang at the source.
Okay, so I've got a flask full of magic water now, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
It's got restorative properties.
Oh,
That's
hey,
good to know.
Paul just keeps getting all the healing stuff, and he doesn't know how to knows nothing about it. No idea that he's got the healing stuff. Gave him a healing stone, and he just chewed on it.
Yeah.
Paul,
Uh
what
huh.
did you do?
Nothing. I checked my pants to see if I like did something.
I'm gonna need some more of that bottle.
Bam.
Ah,
So once again, getting trashed.
Are we?
yep.
So did we probably drink through the orange bottle
I mean,
already? Because then I have the next bottle I have is that other sparkly bottle.
so those are the same kinds.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got the
Oh,
pop rocks.
I don't like this one.
Oh, okay. Hold on. And then I look, and the only other thing I got is the fire breathing one.
The rabbit perks up. Just imagine
Dragon
like
juice.
there's a bunny that's just been lazily hanging out in Paul's lap this entire time, just like my new friend, my drink buddy.
Yeah, and I'm talking to him throughout this entire like thing.
And he will tell you his entire life story, and he has 412 siblings.
Oof.
Please.
It takes him a while, but you get all the names.
I don't know if I could tell you the names of 412 people that I know.
I don't know 412 people.
I hope I never know 412 people.
I have known 412 people. They're probably not people that I talk to frequently, but I could tell you names. It would take a long time, and I would probably accidentally repeat a few.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, now we're drinking the fire breathing stuff now. So,
yep.
This is much better.
Yeah. So go ahead and like Eden. We've already established you're trashed. Paul, go ahead and roll me another con save.
well, no, he's sober again.
Oh
Well, I was.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, go ahead and just roll me that con save again, guys. You will both like at a certain point start breathing fire regardless.
16.
Okay, yeah, you're all right. You're starting to feel it a little bit, but it's not bad.
13.
I mean, this is better than the last time. You're feeling it pretty good, but you're not like sloshed at this
I'm
point.
showing him the tricks I did earlier. Like, check this out.
Oh, very nice, very nice. The rabbit like paws at you to get some.
Oh yeah, no, there's like immediate like I'm like taking the bottle, bringing it straight to the rabbit.
So The rabbit kind of
You are in
stands
the
on its.
circle, buddy.
Yep. The rabbit stands on its hind legs and.
Wait, Paul,
Yeah.
does he, do you understand him?
Well, yeah. Of course.
I, I should have known that. I always just thought you were, huh?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Why wouldn't I not understand? I understand you when you talk to me.
That is, yeah.
In response to your paw, the rabbit stands back up. It's like a conversation, but with flames. He might not speak common, but he can speak fire. I love this so much.
But yeah. Now it's just Paul will continue to drink and hang out with his friends, and his plan is to pass out where he's sitting.
Eden's
Fair
going the
enough.
same route.
So
Oh
Callan,
my god, I love the idea of like all three of them like passed out and snoring, and Flames.
and that is effectively what happens. Before you pass out, Callan comes down the stairs at some point and he looks over curiously and just lifts an eyebrow. Evening, gentlemen.
Yes, it is.
You all right,
You want
Ben?
a drink?
At this point, why the hell not? He'll take a swig and hand it back.
To a lack of liver.
To a lack of liver.
Yeah.
But drink some water, you'll be fine.
Gallbladder?
God.
Kidney?
Why are we saying goodbye
Fuck
to
it,
our
I'm gonna drink
organs?
some more.
Gentlemen, he'll just and hand you back the bottle. I don't want to know. And just walks over to the cottage. Estelle will follow him shortly, but like by that point, I imagine you guys might already be passed out with the little bunny on Paul's chest, just sitting there snoring fire. If Polaroids existed in this world, Estelle would just like walk by and just keep walking. Just taking a mental Polaroid of this ridiculously stupid moment. uh, so you and Eric get back to the space, Scylla. Nope, Thea. And there is nobody other than the Council of Nembi, two of whom are missing, in the rooms. They at least know where their people are. They have gone with Teffin. But yeah, Paul and Eden aren't there. So I'm not sure if that's something that you wish to do anything about. I'm gonna check in with Teffin real quick though. Teffin, how's it going over there?
Still dancing away and having a good time. Who all is in the wrestling ring?
So there is a large half orc. There we go. Sorry, words left for a second. There's a large half orc with a bionic arm. He does take the arm off before he steps into the ring, so he doesn't have any kind of a weird, unfair clobbering advantage.
Okay.
And the owner of the tavern that's attached to the inn closest to the castle So there is a dwarven lady with long blonde hair that's kind of pulled back. She twists it into a bun so that it's not getting everywhere. So those are the two that are currently in the ring.
Okay.
It's her night off. She's got to have some fun.
Right. This is probably a bad idea, which means it's great.
Yeah, Flea looks over at you and slaps the bar. Do it!
All right, let's go get you guys a better seat. I'm gonna pick them up. Find a spot close to the ring to set them down. I've got next.
The little guys go nuts.
And I start taking off like armor and everything and setting it down next to him. Now watch that. That's very important.
Let's see who wins this. Oh, they both rolled so low, but the dwarf lady wins. I
Poor
love
Rev.
it so much. Yeah, poor Rev just got smashed. It was a good match though. They were close. She finally manages to pin him and get him into a nice little like Americana, and he taps. So it's a good time. So
This is gonna go so badly, you guys.
The guy in the ring, like the guy kind of managing the ring, holds up her hand. She pumps her fist up in the air, goes over and gives her opponent a great big hug. You gather that they've hung out, and then he asks, "Who's next?"
Yo. And as the hand goes, so at this point, so Tefn has stripped off his armor, so he is basically just there in his trousers. And as the hand goes up, his body shifts into the sort of size and shape of a Galebdur.
Takes most of the bar off guard a little bit. The person in the ring kind of doing the announcing looks back over to the bartender like, that allowed? The bartender's eyes are wide and he's just like, I guess? So he kind of gestures in. I believe her name is Sarah. Kind of like looks at you. Okay! Cracks her knuckles. Cracks her neck. Gets kind of set. Yeah, go ahead and roll the grapple.
Go easy, this is my first time.
Oh no, lad, what? You think I'm a fool? You're like 18 times my size.
It's all for
She
show.
rolled high. What you got?
This is not going to go good. That's athletics,
She's
right?
strong. Yeah.
It wasn't going to go well, Keith.
No.
Except I rolled a natural 20.
Oh!
Natural 20 with a -1 for 19.
She rolled an 18 with a +6. She's strong. She trained in the under for a long time as a charger.
Yeah.
So she, I don't know how to do that. Like it was a nat 20, so it's going to be a draw instead of a loss because that's still a significantly higher score. But you did roll a nat 20. So you managed to just sheer size, manage to get some headway there to kind of pin her initially, but like you see this anger flash in her eyes when you get a pin and she's like, oh no, I am not, like this is not going to be a submission, it's not going to happen. And she ends up like wrapping one leg up and over your arm and peeling you off. and then effectively like ramming her shoulder into your stomach and putting you down. You kind of end up in this weird like between the flipping and flopping around, effectively ended up in, oh, what do they call it? Like one of you effectively is in a guillotine choke and the other one somehow has like a reverse Americana. Like kind of like one's got a submission over the neck, one's got the submission on the arm. And you're both just kind of very confused about what to do in this space. Um, so you see like her face is kind of smeared up against your leg into the leg choke, and she's just like, "So is this a draw?"
I mean, works for me.
She lets go and extends her hand, just all smiles, like, just,
And I'm going to
well
shrink.
done, lad.
I'm
Well
going to
done.
shrink back down to normal Tefin, which is, I think, a dwarf anyway, and going to wrap her up in a hug. Well done.
I like you. I don't know what the hell you are, but I like you. Uh, so
And then I'll go back over to my friends the NIMBY.
they are cheering something fierce. They are loving every minute of it. It is a good time. You're able to party all night for the most part, and
Yeah. I mean, won't go
do
all night. I
what you
mean,
want to.
because we do have a war council, relatively, early in the morning, or I'll have stuff to do before it. So we'll have a good time. Go fairly late, but not all night, and then I'll take my friends back to the castle.
So Thea, do you go in search of Paul and Eden?
I think when we get back to the castle, I'm gonna use the message story with like to talk to everybody at once, and just say, uh, "Hey, just checking in with everybody. Where's everybody?"
Do we have to be consciously like? Do we have to consciously like respond, or is it like an automatic response when it's?
I think if you are in the thought process of I am responding to this person, it automatically does it.
I just didn't know if she heard.
Ah, gotcha.
When so
Um, yeah, if you're asleep, she's probably just not going to hear anything back.
Yeah.
silence.
Okay, silence from Paul.
Uh-oh. Apparently from Eden too.
Yep.
I'm
Pass out.
heading back from a night out with some of my NIMBY friends.
Okay. Not getting anything from Eden or Paul.
Well, shit. Um, I suppose we could check in with one of the gentlemen who keeps the place up. They seem to be able to know what's what. Um, I don't know if this is how this works, but we'll try it.
We could ask one of the guards. I'll
Oh.
send Archimedes just, I guess, to do like a lap around the castle.
The parts that he can get to, really cool stuff that you see back. There are still spots that you've not seen, but the spots that he can get to without opening doors, there's nothing, no sign of them. Rex, however, the guard that is taking night watch this time, looks to you and says, "Oh, actually, I think I saw them go down the stairs to the cottage earlier. Those over there, the first door to the right there, that's them. Um, that's Estiel and Callan's space. So,
Is that, do we have to have like permission to go down there with
I mean, I
them? Or
wouldn't go into their house without permission, but for the grounds, if you're not being disruptive, I don't think that it would be too big of a problem.
okay. All right. I guess let's head down there and check on our friends.
And sure enough, as you descend the staircase, there are two snoring men and a snoring bunny, all snoring fire.
And I have no words. Why is the bunny shooting fire?
Is this something that happens frequently with you guys?
Paul passing out, yes. Eden passing out, no. Anyone breathing fire, never.
I love that so much. um
I really like this bunny, though. I really kind of want him.
you're gonna end up with a pet. I mean, there are 400 and some odd siblings. I imagine he might be interested in an adventure. They might not notice he's gone. um, so yeah, you're able to go over to your friends. Eric's gonna very gently try and rock Eden awake. Eden? Eden. Roll me a perception check. We'll see if he stirs you. Disadvantage.
Let's see. Perception. Pretty good perception, no. +6. 18? Oh, wait, did disadvantage, sorry.
Yeah.
8.
Ah, never mind. Yeah, you might like grumble a bit, but you don't wake up. Huh.
Do we leave him here to just sleep it off? Or...
I don't know. I mean, they'd probably be more comfortable not on the ground. Although I'm not sure Paul seems very at ease on the ground as well. Eden, though, would probably be very perturbed.
Eden is gonna be so uncomfortable. He never just sleeps on the ground.
Yeah. I feel as though we should maybe move them back.
I think I've carried Paul before.
I think you have. He's a little guy.
Don't think I could carry Eden.
I think I can. That
Paul's
should
not
be
heavy.
fine.
His sword is not the lightest thing to carry.
I mean, Eric can strap that to him and still carry Eden, so that should be fine. Eric just straps the sword onto himself and.
Do I notice someone trying to take my weapon away, like while I'm in my sleep?
Roll me a perception at disadvantage, as you are unconscious.
Yeah, that's not great. That's a 4.
Nope. Yep, you are still good nighting. Do be careful, I suppose, to make sure that they're pointed in such a direction that they won't ignite you. Do we leave the bunny?
We should bring it with us.
Just steal this bunny from its own.
Just make sure that it stays well.
What if we leave it and it sets something on fire?
Yeah, we can return it to its home tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. I'll put the
Okay.
bunny on top of Paul, and I'll pick Paul up.
Yeah, he'll make sure that Eden's head is over his shoulder so that he can like keep his face pointed away. Well, ladies first. He'll he'll follow you up just in case you stumble on the stairs with Paul's weight. Um, Not that he'd be able to do much about it, seeing as he's carrying another person. But the chivalry sticks. You guys are able to get them back to the room. You kind of shuffle them past the Nembi crew so that they don't get accidentally singed, uh, and manage to get them kind of tucked into bed.
So my question is, your thought process was they're breathing fire on the open ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to move them to a bed with sheets while they're breathing fire. Please tell me I catch the fire. Tell me I catch that.
Are they just like constantly breathing fire, like with every
I mean,
breath, or
it starts to after a couple hours it starts to like wane down. So like most of the evening they've got a little smoke going on, but only the first couple of hours is it actively like flaming. So once they've stopped drinking, they've got about a 2 hour duration where they're still breathing fire. Um, so like the babysitting would probably only be for like maybe an hour.
Okay. They're never going to get the smoke.
no?
Nope.
They're never going to get the smoke.
Nope, probably
This
not.
room is now going to be storage.
Um, so yeah, you guys are all tucked in and able to sleep through the night. I'm guessing Eric and Thea will probably go to sleep after the flames have stopped.
Probably best.
All
Sorry.
right.
Messes.
It's awesome.
Paul has done nothing out of the ordinary for Paul.
It's
Nope.
kind of true.
Nope. This is Paul.
Indeed. Eric will thank
Lucy
you
wasn't
again,
a cheetah.
That's true.
Or
Oh,
naked.
next time. It'll probably happen next
A
time.
fire breathing
Cheat.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So yeah, Eric will thank you again for coming with him on his strange adventure this evening, Thea, and bid you good night. Um, Everybody is able to sleep well, and the next day, um, the morning is yours. Do you guys do anything specific?
I'm gonna get up first thing in the morning and go to. I'm assuming there's a library.
Yes, there is a
Something.
library.
I'm gonna go to the library and see what I can find about succubus.
All right. Roll me an investigation check.
Ooh. 12.
12. You find mention of them here and there, but the information that you gather is pretty broad. It's not something like you probably don't really get much more from that than you did from your conversation with Tix the other day.
Okay.
So it's not bad, and you did find things, just not as detailed as you would like.
All right. Well, I tried.
Valiant effort. Um, do you tell Eric that? Well, no, because Eric doesn't know yet. Never mind. So yeah, he wakes up and you're not there, so he's gonna check on Eden and Paul. He has a bunny in his arms at the moment, just kind of petting the bunny. Um, he'll kind of put a hand on Eden's shoulder and shake him a bit. Eden, love, are you okay?
Mhm.
Are you sure?
Mhm.
I can get you some water.
Aiden will reach into his bag of holding and pull out a little water skin and drink a little bit.
And this doesn't have the castle water in it, does it?
Nope, that's in pulp. No, thank you.
Now, really, are you all right?
I will be.
Very well. He kind of gives Eden's hand a kiss and steps away, still bunny in arms. Just
Oh, hey, that's the rabbit. Is he still breathing fire?
no, nor are you, thankfully.
Right.
But I
That's
hope
why it
that
smells like smoke in here.
yes, I hope that you don't mind that we took the liberty of bringing you up here.
Oh, right. Where? Oh,
You had
okay.
fallen asleep by the stream, in the grotto downstairs. I figured that you wouldn't like realizing you had slept on the ground overnight.
Thank you. It wouldn't be the first time, but maybe like this the first time.
Mm. So, are you going to tell me what that's about?
The fire, I think it was the alcohol that Paul found.
Never mind. He'll just kind of smile and nod and look over at Paul, make sure that he's got the sword tucked in. Like when they tucked them in, he tucked the sword in next to Paul. How are
Eden
you, my friend?
probably
Oh,
rolls over and just goes back to sleep.
are you all right, Paul? Well, suppose there's nothing for it but see what I can get into. He'll kind of go uh, get his stuff prepared, assuming that they'll probably end up leaving sometime soon. Um, and it is getting close to midnight for you guys. This seems like uh, maybe a good spot to be done. I know it was a whole lot of RP bizarre stuff, but yeah. Hopefully it was still fun for everybody.
So right,
Oh,
shenanigans are always fun.
Shenanigans.
As a note, when just so that I don't know what the rest of the party is going to say or anything like that, but for DM Danny, in terms of preparation, Eden is going to try to push to go to the library first,
Good
um,
deal.
with ulterior motive to, find books.
That makes sense. If you guys wanted to, we could do the little like lunch meeting if you'd like. Um, but also with it
Whatever
being
you guys want to do.
Mm,
So
mm.
unless you guys want to kind of do a powwow like between sessions to figure out kind of what order we want to do things in.
Yeah, like the players can kind of talk amongst
yeah, kind of
themselves and
figure
you
out what
guys
we
can
want to do.
decide like what seems smartest for you. That'd work.
Okay.
Good deal.
Figure out what
Um,
we're going to do about Pyron.
well, Pyron is being cared for. Uh, you do have a representative of the Seven Sons to speak with potentially. Um,
Let me make a
and
to-do list because sometimes when we go weeks without playing, I forget stuff.
that is fair. That's why I have to I've got to rewatch beforehand each time while I'm doing my prep stuff. Um, and Estelle is going to be uh, reaching out to some of his connections that might be able to provide you easy transit. We will see if he can get permission.
Okay, so we need to talk to Arabella. She's with the Seven Sons. And then what are we done with the people from NIMBY? I mean, we just don't need to do anything else with them, right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
They're shutting back on. Okay. What other loose strings do we have hanging out? What's going on with Pyre?
He's
So,
being held and cared for, like, not in the dungeons, but in like
Mhm.
some sort of like a cell, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And Thea, you would know from the conversations that you overheard that Ren had been infected with the same thing before, and what they had to do to take that out was an incredibly brutal, awful thing to be able to get that out of him.
Yeah,
That's
they had to kill him to get it out.
Yep. Which is why he sounds like a pack-a-day smoker and has all kinds of bizarre scars.
Where's Pyron?
Pyron
has
is being held in one of the cells, one of the extra dimensional cells, while they're working on his cure,
Okay.
or at least his treatment to the point that he can actually consent to a cure.
Just see if you can get him as Passy and pat his bottom. Sorry, little man just woke up.
No worries. It happens. And would Eden try to talk to Eric before other stuff happens?
If he wakes up in time, or if anybody bothers like forcing him to wake up, then yeah, he would.
Let me know if you'd like to run that, seeing as Eric has some insights that other people don't necessarily realize about him,
Including Eden.
including Eden.
Is it something that I know? Thea knows?
So he doesn't hide the fact that he's Jinkin. Like you guys have talked about that lately. Like that kind of came up with the things that you've learned over the last 24 hours. You might not necessarily know some of the things that go along with that. Um, they have the ability to kind of persuade people and charm people into doing a lot of things that they might not normally do. That said, he doesn't tend to use it in that regard. He would much rather actually just be a genuine person and um put forward the effort into caring for other people to the degree that they are comforted by him and intrigued by him for the right reasons instead of magic. Uh, so he is also immune to Eden, but Eden does not know that. So, um, while he's not necessarily immune to the life force sucking part, and he didn't know that he had to have resilience against that because he didn't know what Eden was, he is immune to Eden's charm. So, um, and understands the dilemma of having to figure out how to control things like that and wondering what's authentic and not. So, yeah, he's he is part genie, and that makes some interesting differences.
Well, the only other thing that uh, Thea was going to do before this meeting was I mean I was going to give Eden a heads up that Scylla's going to be there, so he's not walking into that.
And he won't mind that at all. Like he probably has not thought that far in advance. At this point, he's been doing the self pity thing, and actually, I don't think he's actually really thought through because he would have found a way to actually, if he knew she was leaving, he would have at least found a way to get her money so that she wasn't traveling on her own power or whatever. But he hasn't really thought about anything.
Stuck in his own little world. Alrighty then. So I think that covers us for that. Yeah, Eden, if you I imagine that at some point, like Eric will probably come in if he hasn't seen you in a little while and try to make sure, because he'll know that you'll want to get ready and wash like the dirt off of you from, yeah, all of that. So
Get the
he would
smoke out of his
probably
hair.
get the smoke out of his hair, all of that good stuff. So he would probably come in and wake you up in plenty of time for you to be able to have that conversation if you want to. So, um, if you want to have that conversation, we can do that off screen. And
Does Theo want to be there for that
oh
conversation?
yeah, does Theo want to be there for that conversation?
Um,
Because if you came in at the same time, then
I mean, sure, because I mean, I would have gone down to the library and then come back up to the room.
sure.
I mean, if you wanted to run that, we could now. If you want to do it on text, we can.
That's up. I mean, it's only 11 here, so that's
Are you all okay with doing it through text? Because
yeah.
I might have to step in and help with a crying baby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
just
fair.
fine.
Been there,
He's
done
He's
that.
awake.
he's got like back jaw teeth that are coming in.
Mm,
Oh no.
No, that hurts, and he's just like he's drooling like a mastiff, like it just
Oh,
runs.
poor buddy.
Mhm.
Little man is
So
struggling.
he's been pretty good about sleeping through the night for a while, but past couple weeks we haven't been doing so.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Alex still doesn't do that, and he's 3.
I hope that it gets better. Well, in both cases.
Yeah.
I mean, once he actually gets his teeth in, that part should at least help. Yeah, the random wandering toddler syndrome, I don't know.
I think some of that's ADHD. It tends to have a negative effect on sleep. But also, I think he's having a lot of night terrors, and that's been the biggest issue, is that he wakes up totally distraught and crying.
That's so hard. I used to have those all the time. It's a very, very difficult thing to deal with. And it doesn't help, like, when you have one and you wake up suddenly, you're incredibly disoriented and you don't know where you are, and that makes it that much worse.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the words to tell us yet, and I think that's frustrating too.
Yeah.
But
Mm. Well, hopefully all of these things will improve. And
This
soon.
too shall pass.
Yes, this too shall pass. Yes. Well, thank you for playing with me, guys. I hope everybody had a good time.
mhm.